Wilson, by the way, gave us a boost last night before midnight. Decided to just announce that he was going to the Steelers. There's no deal to be done. It's not like they agreed to terms. Russell Wilson's contract is what it is, $1.2 million.
What?
It's official. Russell Wilson is on his way to the Pittsburgh Steelers to battle it out with Kenny Pickett for the starting job for the Steelers next season. Now, with that being said, this is probably the biggest steal in NFL history for a one-year contract. Russell Wilson is talked about as one of those guys who's a throwaway, a guy who's not good anymore. Well, that narrative is completely wrong, and I honestly don't understand it. The man had a pretty good season with the Denver Broncos, and for him to come over here to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who, quite frankly, were one of the best defenses in football, just couldn't keep their offense on the field long enough to keep them, scoring points, right? Now, with that being said, Russell Wilson comes over here with George Pickens, Calvin Austin, Deontay Johnson potentially could get moved, but for now they have him. And then you have a guy like Pat Freiermuth, Darnell Washington, and let's not forget, Arthur Smith is now the offensive coordinator, which helps Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren a ton. Guys, this offense is brand new with Russell Wilson, and there is some news I want to break as well in this video, as well as break down some Russell Wilson film if we want to do that as well. But guys, so much to cover in this video. Let's jump right in.
Recognize the fact that this was a very low-risk move. They did not have to compensate the Denver Broncos with any picks or players. They only had to give Russell Wilson the veteran minimum contract with the Broncos, as you mentioned, footing the other bill.
And we heard them say it right there. Russell Wilson is making $1.2 million. Guys, in what world is this a bad deal? If you're a Steelers fans out there right now and you're thinking, oh man, why did we just do that? I don't know what you're thinking. This is one of the cheapest deals I have ever seen for a veteran quarterback who has won a Super Bowl and knows what it takes to get there, alongside one of the best defenses in football. This is going to change the game. The Broncos will owe him $38 million this year. Absolute unbelievable deal for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But the one thing that's a little bit off about this situation is now the rumors about Kenny Pickett.
They said they wanted to bring in competition for Kenny Pickett, the former first-round draft pick. I don't think Russell Wilson goes to Pittsburgh with the idea that he's going to back up Kenny Pickett, but it is going to be an open competition.
Now listen, again, we heard Adam Schefter say it there. It looks like it could be an open competition with Kenny Pickett and Russell Wilson. And hell, maybe this sparks a fire under Kenny Pickett. Maybe there's a world where he does win the starting job. I'm not sure it's possible because Russell Wilson is that veteran. However, he's not getting paid any money. So I feel like the Steelers, their decision will be easier if Kenny Pickett is actually playing like the better quarterback. They will start him. Of course, obviously, if he went to the Giants, it would be a much different situation with Daniel Jones making so much money. It would seem like Russell Wilson would just be the backup. In this case scenario, it is way different. It is going to be an open competition. However, what I will say is, if Kenny Pickett doesn't win the job, I think his time here in Pittsburgh could be over. That is what a lot of NFL media is speculating right now. But at the same time, let's sit back and think about it for a second, right? Russell Wilson only signed a one-year deal, which means Kenny Pickett, depending on his ego, he could just sit back, relax, and decide, hey, let me just sit back and watch Russell Wilson. Let me see what he does. Let me learn from Russell Wilson. And then next season, let me get another stab at it, right? Or he could be like, listen, you guys didn't want me to be a starter this season, I'm out, right? So who knows what's going to happen? Honestly, do me a favor in the comment section down below. Comment down below. Do you think Kenny Pickett, his time here in Pittsburgh is done? Or do you think he'd be okay with coming back next season and trying to start again if he doesn't win the starting job this year? But also, hit the like button. Let's get this video up to like 200 likes. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Join the family. It's free. Doesn't cost anything. But man, what a turn of events here for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are in one of the toughest divisions in football. Cleveland just went out and got Jerry Jeudy. The Browns are going, or the Bengals are going to get Joe Burrow back. You have the Baltimore Ravens, and now the Steelers just get Russell Wilson. And in my opinion, a guy who accounted for 29 touchdowns in 15 games last season, right? And the Steelers accounted for what, 10 total touchdowns in 17 games for the quarterback. I mean, man, this is such a turn. This is such a turn up. Flip the switch, and the Steelers are ready to compete. All right, here we go. First play that I wanted to show you guys here, we're going to have, 3 wide receivers out to the left, 1 up top, and then you have your running back in the backfield. He's going to be running a swing route, getting out the backfield, leaving Russell Wilson in this pocket by himself. Now, one thing I love about Russell Wilson, and something I think he'll do an amazing job at in Pittsburgh, is making plays on his feet, keeping plays alive. So, boom. What we're going to happen here is we're going to see the pocket start to break down, the edge rusher gets right around the tackle, and then, boom, we get some pressure on the interior as well. Russell Wilson decides, okay, let me follow my blockers and let me get outside the pocket. At this point in time, he's rolling out to the right, and this is where I think the Steelers could be huge. Deontay Johnson, Calvin Austin with the speed, and even George Pickens, right? I think those guys play really well, and I think you'll start to see that those guys actually will learn from Russell Wilson to make a play like this. Courtland Sutton in the back of the end zone runs to where Russell Wilson's running and gets a nice little touchdown. An unbelievable pass, right? On the run, man in his face, number 94. I believe that's Christian Wilkins, who is a baller, by the way. Absolute amazing throw there by Russ, and hopefully we see a lot of this in Pittsburgh. All right, here's another one I want to show you guys. This is where I think they'll be able to utilize him in Pittsburgh with that running game. Arthur Smith loves to pound the football, pound the rock. Najee Harris, Jaylen Warren, going to get the ball a lot in this offense. But then the play action, man. To utilize the play action, and Russell Wilson is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL in terms of selling the run. Boom, right away we see the corners up top. The linebackers really start to bite down on that run. Does a beautiful job, and now they got to drop back into coverage. Now, what we see here is a great pass rush here by 43 off the edge over the tight end. But Russell Wilson doesn't panic. He doesn't throw a bad ball, doesn't make a bad decision, but simply puts the football where it needs to be while getting absolutely smacked. Now, this throw is considerably perfect, right? Leads his receiver back into the open side of the field, or open area of the field, right? Doesn't lead him up towards the DBs. Puts in a perfect spot. Great catch there. And just think of this being like a George Pickens, right? Who can make those 50-50 catches. Man, I'm telling you right now, Russell Wilson is going to have a fun time here in Pittsburgh because of George Pickens, because of Calvin Austin with the speed. I think Calvin Austin has the ability to break out this season as well. I'm really excited to see what Russell Wilson and the Steelers can do this season. Now, do me a favor and comment down below the number 1 if you actually do like this signing of Russell Wilson. I know a lot of Steelers fans out there were hoping they'd just keep Kenny Pickett or trade for Justin Fields, but signing Russell Wilson, I think, is the cheapest option. I think it's the smartest option, and I think it puts you in Super Bowl contention right away. Russell Wilson throws a fire dot over the middle. Look at that pass right there. An unbelievable catch, but again, in Pittsburgh, there's guys that can make these grabs, right? The George Pickens in the world, right? Those guys can make unbelievable catches just like this. And again, pressure up the middle. Let me just sit comfortably in the pocket, right? Don't panic. Stay calm. And an absolute dart wide open over the left side. I mean, I'm telling you guys right now, you guys, the Steelers, are going to slowly start to fall in love with what Russell Wilson is going to bring to Pittsburgh, man. I guarantee it. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, comment down below. Do you like this move? Do you hate this move? And also, give me a letter grade. I'm going to give it an A+. Just because he's a veteran, he has Super Bowl experience. You got him for nothing. Nothing. Literally free, okay? He can help develop Kenny Pickett if that's what Kenny Pickett wants. If not, you'll see what you have to do after. But listen, if Russell Wilson comes out here, has a good season, I guarantee you he might even end his career here with the Steelers.